Good morning. This is pre-algebra for Thursday, and I hope you're having a good morning already, and I hope you are doing this in the morning, that you're not waiting until late in the afternoon to get this accomplished. All right, today we're going to talk about, we're on lesson 83, and what we're going to talk about is how to do algebraic addition. Okay, that sounds really hard and complicated. It's not. Okay, we're going to do this mentally, but I want to explain it to you. Here's what we're going to do. If you have 8 minus 5 is 3, you know that, you've known that since, first grade, kindergarten, whatever. In algebra, what we really want to do is we don't want to subtract. So instead, we're going to change the sign, the subtraction sign, okay? And we're going to make it a plus sign. We're going to take this sign, that minus sign, and we're going to say that goes with our number. So what we're really going to say is a positive 8 plus a negative 5 is a positive 3. Say, Mrs. Turner, that sounds like you're making this really complicated problem for something that's very easy. Well, right now, we're learning how to do it. So we're using easy problems. In a few weeks, in a few days actually, our problems are gonna get a little more complicated. And so I want you to understand the process, okay? Look at this problem. If I told you the opposite of negative 4 plus, and I gave you this huge algebraic expression, you would say, what in the world is that? Well, in a few days, you're gonna be able to do that. But right now, I just want you to understand the process. And this is why I'm telling you, when you see a subtraction sign, we're really not subtracting. What we're doing is we're putting parentheses to that sign with the number, and we're inserting an addition. Okay, and we did this the other day. So now it says 8 plus negative 5 is 3. Let's look over here. When we have two signed numbers that are the same and we're multiplying or dividing, we are going to say that answer is positive. When we're multiplying or dividing and we have signed numbers that are different, then our answer is negative. Now, in this, we're going to say we don't want to subtract. We want to get rid of it. So in order to subtract, what we do is we change the sign to an addition sign and of the subtrahend, the second one, okay? So what we're really doing, let's look at this. That sounds really complicated to what we're doing. We have negative 4 plus 2 minus 5 minus 7, but we don't want to subtract. So what we're doing is we're putting parentheses around this, each number and its sign, and we're putting addition signs between it. So now all of it is adding. So we're saying negative 4 plus positive 2 is negative 2, and negative 2 plus negative 5 is negative 7, and negative 7 plus negative 7 is negative 14. Now, I want you to do the same thing on this next problem, except Mrs. Turner's not going to put in the parentheses. We're just going to assume that we all know that we're adding and that the sign is the sign of the number, okay? So how would we read this? We'd say negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. Negative 5 plus positive 6 is a positive 1. Positive 1 plus a negative 4 is a negative 3. Okay, try it again. We're doing the same thing. It's like we're putting parentheses around it and we're putting the little addition marks. But here's the thing. All we're really doing is putting it in our mind. We're not going to write it on our paper. Okay, so we have negative 4 plus a positive 2 for a negative 2. Negative 2 plus negative 3 is a negative 5. Negative 5 plus negative 7 is a negative 12. Negative 12 plus negative 8 is a negative 20. Negative 20 plus a positive 1 is a negative 19. Do you see what we're doing? Let's try it one more time. Negative 7 plus negative 3 is a negative 10. Negative 10 plus negative 2 is a negative 12. Negative 12 plus negative 4 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus a positive 8 is a negative 8. Hopefully you got those all right. All right? That was pretty simple. That's the whole crust of today's lesson, is when you have a long list of numbers, we look at those as the sign goes with the number and we just add them across, whether they're positive or negative, okay? Let's look at 83, last problem set 83, number 1. Problem set 83, number 1. It says, the ratio of the bumptious to the gracious was 7:3. If there were 1,400 bumptious, how many were gracious? Okay, so the first thing you have to do is write your ratio. So what's your ratio today? Okay, your ratio is, let's read it again. Make sure I put it right. Yes. The ratio of bumptious to gracious is 7:3. So write that down. Write your ratio. It's 7:3. Now, that has to equal something. It tells us that we know there are 1,400 or 1,400 bumptious. That is going to be on the top or the bottom of our ratio. It is on the top. If you wrote your ratio just like Mrs. Turner, 7:3, the 7 and the 14 represent the same group, so they both have to go on the top. What goes on the bottom? An X, okay? Now what do? We multiply. We cross multiply to be specific. So we say 7 times X and get 7X. 3 times 1,400, well, we're going to get 0, 0. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 plus 1 is 4. So we have 4,200. 2 rules of algebra. The goal is to get the X by itself. So the 2 rules are, do the opposite of what the equation tells you, and whatever you do on the left, you must do on the right. It says to multiply by 7, so we are going to divide by 7. Okay, whatever we do on the left, we must do on the right. This is going to cancel, giving us X. 42 divided by 7 is 6, 0, 0. So my answer is X equals 600. Let's look at number 2. The Viscots executed only 3/11 of the number of vandals that the number of the vandals executed. If the Viscots executed 2,202, how many did the vandals execute? These Viscots and vandals obviously are not very nice people, okay? Now, let's look at the problem. We want to know the number. So, and our problem is already written in fractions. So what's that pattern we're going to use? Well, the fraction times the of equals the is. Now go back to your problem. Let's make sure we're using the right numbers, okay? The Viscots executed only 3/11 of the number that the vandals executed. We want to know how many the vandals executed. Okay, we don't know. But we know that the Viscots executed 2,202. And that's only 3/11 of them, okay? So our fraction is 3/11 of whatever the Viscots executed. And ours was 2,202. Okay? So what are we going to do? The same thing. We got to get the V by itself by doing what? The opposite of what it says. It says to multiply by 3/11, so we're really going to divide it by 3/11. But when we divide by a fraction, we are multiplying by the reciprocal. So let's put the reciprocal over here. Whatever we do on the left, we have to do on the right. This all cancels, leaving us the V. Now, can I reduce this? Well, since I don't really know all my times tables up to 2,202, I'm going to use my divisibility rules, and I'm going to say, can I divide this by 3? Well, the divisibility rule is a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. And I hope that's not blocking out our camera there. All right, sorry about that. So 3 goes, and since 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, it is divisible by 3. So 3 goes into 21 7 times, 22 7 times, giving us 1. 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over. Now 3 goes into 12 4 times. Okay? Now, oops, almost forgot to mark this off. To the 1. Now what do? We simply have to finish multiplying. We're going to multiply 734 times 11, and we are going to get 8,074. So the Visigoths executed 2,202 people. The other group, the Vandals, they executed 8,074 people. Very bloody time in which they were living. Let's look at number 5. Number 3. Number 3. You know what? Let us go to number 5. I'm going to run out of time. And I want to make sure we can do this. X is greater than -2. Okay? On your number line, I want you to put the number 2 in the middle, -2. Go 2 on each side. So we're going to have -1 and 0, -3 and -4. Okay, so we have 5 numbers. We don't need a giant line. Okay, now, there's no equal marks here. It's greater than this. So we're just going to circle this, and the same direction that the arrow is pointing is the way the arrow is going to go, because X is greater than -2. Let's look at number 6. It says X is less than or equal to 4. Just not negative, it's positive. Okay? So on your number line, do the same thing. Here's 4, 5, 6, 3, and 2. Okay? Now, it says that it's less than or equal to. Since it's an equal to, we have to do what to the marker? Color it in. So go to 4 and color in the marker. Which direction are you going to draw the arrow? Since the X comes first, and it says X is less than 4, we can trust it, and we're going to make it go the same direction. All right? Now, tonight, I want you to do your homework. Make sure you're doing it on paper, guys. Do them on paper, then submit your answers to me. And then make sure you turn in all of your paperwork. Okay? Thursday is the day that we typically have your new packets ready. We're getting ready to do some review packets, getting ready for our final. And so I'll be having those ready for you on Thursdays. You don't have to come on Thursday, but some of you have yet to pick up your packets. Okay? You're getting behind. You need to make sure you do. All right? Have a good day.